guys, we are here for weight training this evening. If you're joining us on YouTube, go ahead and hit like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that little bell so that you get notified whenever we put up a new video. We are going to be doing a chair-based workout today, all seated, so it'll be very knee-friendly. You'll need, preferably you'll have a heavy, maybe a medium and a light as well, but at least a heavy and a light set of weights. But if you only have one set, you can still do that. Other than the chair and the weights, you don't need any props for today's class. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with a warm-up. Sitting forward in your chair, you're going to start just gently turning from side to side, loosening up your back, starting to get moving a little bit. Two more to each side. And then coming into stillness, you're going to take your arms and do some nice big arm circles forward. And then some nice big arm circles backwards. And then throw your arms in and out over your chest, crossing one arm over the top and then the other. Beautiful. From here, we're going to move on to our elbows. So you're going to make some nice big circles with your elbows. And then go the other way. And then moving on to your wrists. You can do circles in one direction or do figure eights, hit both directions at one time. Beautiful. And then go ahead and squeeze your hands, your fingers in and out, just to kind of wake your hands up a little bit too. Since you're going to be gripping the dumbbells, you want to make sure that your hands are nice and awake as well. Beautiful. From here, we're going to move on to our hips. So again, sitting forward in the chair, you're going to bring your feet out a little bit and then just start windshield wipering your knees side to side. Going to start waking your hips up a little bit. Beautiful. Do two more to each side. And then we're going to work on our knees. So sit back just a little bit in your chair for this one so you have a solid seat. And you're going to just pick one leg up and swing that forward and back. Not trying to work too hard here, just kind of swinging the knee, making sure everything's moving okay today. And then switch legs. And then moving down to your ankles, stretch one foot out and you're going to spin that foot in circles in one direction. And then in the other direction. And then switch feet. Going one direction. And then the other direction. All right, we are ready to get started with our weight training today. So we're going to start with a moderate weight. We're going to do an overhead press with a leg extension. So sitting forward in your chair, you're going to press the weight up, just straight up above your head and back down. But as you do, you're going to extend, keeping your foot flexed, your leg at the knee, just like that. And we're staying all on one side for the first minute. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Now, if you, for the starting technique for this one, put your foot down on the floor between each one. But if you want to up it a little bit, don't set the foot down. Maintain the tension in the quad. Keep that leg up the whole time. Halfway there. You can mix it up as well, so you don't have to keep the leg up the whole time. You can do the leg up for a while and then set it down on one just to give a little rest, so that you're customizing the workout to fit what's appropriate to you. And trying to sit up super tall the whole time as well. That's going to help engage your core as well. And time. All right. From here, we're just going to switch sides and do the same thing on the other side. So put that weight in your other hand. 1 minute on the clock. Rack it on your shoulder. Here we go. Again, starting with just picking the foot up and putting it down on the floor each time. And then if you feel like you want to up it a little bit, try not tapping that heel down, just holding it up. Sitting up super tall, keeping that belly squeezed in nice and tight. Doing one side at a time forces us to engage our core to stay upright and not wobble. Halfway there already. Ten more seconds. You've got this. And time. Beautiful. Set that down. Straight your arms out for just a second. Now for the next exercise, we're going to do a bicep curl plus a twist. I'm going to use a heavier dumbbell, but I'm only going to use one and turn it sideways. If you don't have a heavier dumbbell, you might want to use two light ones. You can accomplish the same thing. If you have a barbell, you can use that for this exercise as well. So for this one, you're just going to bring your feet and your knees together, sitting up nice and tall. Turn to one side, curl, turn to the other side, curl. You're just going back and forth. Continuing to keep that core squeezed in nice and tight. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Beautiful, you got it. Control the motion of the dumbbell or barbell, whatever you're using, on the way up and on the way down. Don't let gravity make it fall. You want it to go at the same speed down as it does up. Halfway there. You've got this, just a little bit more. And time. Beautiful. All right, from here, I'm going to go down to a lighter weight. Now for me, because of the type of dumbbells I have, I use plated dumbbells, similar to how barbells fit together, where you can do different weights on the same handle. I'm going to go all the way down to just a plate so that I can do my lightest weight. For me, that's 5 pounds. For this exercise, you're going to have your feet hip width apart. Lean forward as far as is comfortable for you with keeping a flat back. And then you're going to bring your arm up for what's called a back fly. A little soft elbow there. You don't want to hyperextend your elbow. And then from there, bring it back for a rear raise. So you've got your back fly and then your rear raise. 1 minute on the clock. We're doing it all on one arm. Here we go. Keeping your head, neck, and back in a straight line is important with this one. So you want to keep your gaze down towards the floor in front of you. Where exactly that will fall will depend on how far forward you lean. Nice and slow. Again, You want it to go up and down at the same speed. Don't let it just fall. You're halfway there already. Keep breathing. You got this. This is a pretty shoulder and back intensive exercise. Don't feel like you need to rush on this one. And time. Beautiful. Shake that arm out. And then we're going to do the other side. The same thing. Feet hip width apart. Lean forward, nice flat back. Bring the arm up and out to the side. And then up and back behind you. 1 minute. Here we go. If you don't have the same range of motion on this side as you do on the other side, that's okay. Everybody is different. And the sides of your body may be different as well. So do what you are able to do for that side. As long as you don't have any pain, you're doing it okay. "15 seconds to go. And time. Beautiful. All right, set that down, shake that arm out. And then for our last exercise, I'm going to go back up to my heavier weight. We're going to do 30 seconds on each side for this one. So I'm going to straighten both of my legs out, and I'm going to set the weight on my left leg to start. Picking it up, I'm just going to bring it over and across. I want to bring it past my other foot so that I'm activating the muscles on the inside of the leg. At 30 seconds, we'll switch sides. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Now, how much extra work you do from the weight depends on where on your leg you put the weight. If it feels like it's too much, move it up higher. So you're adding just a little bit of extra weight. The further you move it down your leg, the more it's going to act to weigh you down and make you work harder. And switch. Again, the goal for this one is to bring that top foot over at least above, if not past the bottom foot. That's what's going to activate those muscles along the inside thigh, though it can be hard to get to. Still sitting up nice and tall. Still breathing. Almost there. And time. Beautiful. Set that weight to the side. Go grab some water. And then we have 2 sets to go. All right, bring it back in. From here, we are going back to that overhead press plus the leg extension. So grab your weight, rack it on your shoulder. Remember, for this one, you're keeping the foot flexed and focusing on squeezing that quad muscle as you bring the leg up. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Still sitting up nice and tall. Still squeezing that core in. Either set the foot down or keep the heel up off the ground the whole time, depending on which variation you want to try today. Halfway there. Check in, make sure you're still sitting up nice and tall. Make sure you're still squeezing that tummy in, and make sure you're still breathing. And time. Beautiful. Switch sides. Maybe give that arm a shake. Rack that weight on the other shoulder. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Foot flexed. Sitting up nice and tall. Either keeping the heel off the ground or setting it down each time, up to you. Nice and forward on the edge of your seat. No using the backrest for support. Not on this one. Twenty more seconds. Almost there. 5 seconds to go. And time. Beautiful. Set that weight down. Take a second, shake your arms out. And then we're moving on to the bicep curl plus the twist. So for me, I'm using the heavier weight. You can use 2 smaller weights if that works better for you. Bring your knees and your feet in together for this one. Still sitting on the edge of your chair, sitting up nice and tall. 1 minute. Here we go. Twist and curl. Make sure your head and your neck turn along with your torso. So that you're looking the direction that your chest is pointing. Got to protect your head, neck, and back at all times. More than halfway there. And time. Beautiful. All right, set that one aside. I'm going to go back to my lightweight. We're doing that back fly plus a rear raise. So feet hip width apart, sitting right on the edge of your chair, leaning forward as long as you can keep a flat back. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Out to the side and then out and back. Remember to keep a soft bend in your elbow. More than halfway there. Depending on how your shoulder moves, you may need to play with the angle a little bit on this one. If you feel anything pinching or clicking, maybe just bring the weight a little forward or a little back. Just adjust it, make small changes until you find the track that's going to work best for you. And time. Beautiful. Shake that arm out. And then we got to go to the other side. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Nice and steady. Remember to control the weight going up and going down. Don't just let it fall. You're halfway there, 30 seconds to go. Ten more seconds. You've got this. And time. Excellent. All right, we're finishing off with that hip adduction. So go ahead and set the weight on one leg, stretch both legs out. And remember, you're bringing it over the top leg, over the bottom leg. Switching at the 30-second mark. Here we go. You're hinging just in and out, trying to bring that foot over top the bottom foot. 10 more seconds on this side. And switch. You're just using your hands to keep the weight from rolling. You don't want to be supporting the weight with your hands. But of course, you can always adjust where on your leg that weight rests to increase or decrease how hard you're working. And time. Beautiful. All right, that's 2 sets done. Go grab some water. We have 1 set to go. All right, bring it back in. Moving back to the overhead press plus leg extension. This is our last set. You've got it. 1 minute on the clock. Rack the weight. Here we go. Slow and steady. Weight training is about fatiguing the muscles to encourage them to grow. Doesn't need to be cardio. It can be if you want it to, but it doesn't have to. More than halfway there. You can always adjust your weight at any time during your set, after your set, before your next set. So if you feel like the muscle's already fatigued, you can lower your weight or go all the way to empty hand and just do the same motions with no weight at all. And time. Shake that arm out. And then we have to do the other side. Rack the weight on the opposite shoulder. 1 minute, here we go. Still sitting up nice and tall. Still keeping that core squeezed in. You're halfway there, 30 seconds to go. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I'm not fully extending my arm on that overhead press. I'm not locking out my elbow. When you're weight training, you always want to keep your joints a little soft to prevent injury. And time. Excellent. All right, from here, we're going into that bicep curl plus a twist. Feet and knees together for this one. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Almost halfway there. You've got this. Got to keep those guns in shape. It may not be beach season anymore, but you can still have your guns out anytime the sun's out. And time. Set that one aside. Grab whatever weight you're using for the back fly plus the rear raise, or again, you can always adjust or do it empty hand. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Straight out to the side and then up and back. Soft elbow. Make any adjustments to your motion that you need to prevent any pinching or clicking. Keeping a flat back. Only 15 seconds to go. Keep breathing. And time. Nice. Move it to the other side. Maybe give that arm a quick shake. All right, now move it to the other side. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Halfway there. Keep breathing, nice and steady. Still a soft elbow. And remember, you can adjust this side. It doesn't have to match exactly to the other side. And time. All right, last one is that hip adduction. Load your weight, both legs straight out, 30 seconds on each side. Here we go. Sitting up nice and tall, focusing on bringing the foot over the other foot. Ten more seconds on this side. And switch. You got this. Squeezing it in as it comes in. Almost there. And time. Excellent. Set that weight to the side, grab some water, and then we're going to do our final stretch. All right, bring it back in. Still sitting nice and forward in your chair. Take a nice deep breath. Bring your arms up overhead. Look up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to fold forward, reaching your hands down towards the floor. Just hang here for a minute. Let your head hang down too. Let your arms relax, shoulders loose. And then from there, you're gonna roll up nice and slow and roll your shoulders back 3 times. And then forward 3 times. And then from here, you're gonna take one arm, bring it across your body, shoulder down away from your chin. And then you're just gonna nod your head gently up and down. Doesn't have to be big motions. You wanna feel a little stretch through the back of your neck. And release. Go to the other side. And then add that little nod in. And release. From here, you're gonna scoot back just a little bit in your chair. Take one leg. You can either cross it over your ankle or bring it up to your knee if you have that flexibility. And from there, we're just gonna lean forward until we feel a stretch through the outside of the hip. You can rest your hands on your knee and your ankle. You don't wanna push into it, but just resting your hands there, letting the weight and the gravity help you with your stretch. One more breath here. And then release. Switch sides. Again, ankle, shin, or knee, whatever works for you. One hand on your ankle, one hand on your knee. Lean forward. Try to keep a flat back. You want to feel the stretch through your hips, not in your back for this one. You may find that as you sit for a moment with your breath, that you can sink a little deeper into it. And if that feels good, go right ahead. One more moment here. And then release. From here, we're going to stretch out our calf and hamstring just a little. So flex the toe up. You're going to reach forward and grab the top of your toe or whatever you can reach. Pull the toe in towards your shin until you feel a good stretch through the back of your leg. And release. And then we're going to go to the other side. So stretch the other foot out, toe pointed up, reach down, catch hold of it if you can. If so, you're going to pull just a little bit, pulling the toe in towards your shin, just until you feel a good stretch. And release. From here, we're going to do a little twist. So taking one hand, reaching across to either your leg, your hip, the bottom of the chair, whatever you can reach, maybe even the back of the chair if that's in your range of motion. And then you're going to look over the back shoulder, sit up nice and tall. You don't want to crank too hard into it. Don't want to risk injury. You just want to stretch through your back and neck. You can have the other hand on the back of the chair for support or for leverage. And release. Go to the other side. So reaching over again to hip, chair, whatever is in your reach. Turn and look over that shoulder. Other hand on the back of the chair for support. Sitting up nice and tall. And release. All right, the last stretch that we're going to do today is going to help us stretch out our triceps just a little bit. So you're gonna take one hand, reach it up behind you like you're patting yourself on the back, and then take your other hand, and press your elbow gently towards the back of the room. And release, and then go to the other side. Grab that elbow, pull it gently back. And release. And you are done. Fantastic job today. We will do it again next week. Have a great night.